2023, paper 2, calculator paper. Work out the value of 25 minus square root of 43.87 divided by 6 plus 2.1 squared. If you put all of this in the calculator at once, you have to use brackets. But the best way is to do the numerator first. You will get that answer there. And then you do the denominator. You write that down. At least that will give you 1 mark in the exams. And then after that, you divide them to get the final answer. And then work out the reciprocal of 0.625. Reciprocal means 1 divided by the number. So 1 divided by 0.625, go 1 and 3/5. And your calculator, there's a button like that. That will change it to you to a mixed number. Question number 2. Write 60 as a product of its prime factors. You have a factor 3. You can use your calculator, type 60, press equals to, and then use the calculator fact. It will give you this answer. Or you can do 60, 2 times 30, 60, circle 2 because it's a prime number, and then 30 is 2 times 15, and so on, and you get that answer. So if you enjoy my lessons and you want extra private tuition, you can contact me on this number on WhatsApp, or you can email me to get professional help with your work. And most of my students end up getting top grades, grade 8 or 9. So contact me, and it's far cheaper than you trying to go to some other tutors. Question 3, there are 48 counters in the back. There are only red counters and blue. Number of red counters to the number of blue counters, 1:2. So there are 24 red counters in the back because 1 is half of 2 and 24 is half of 48. Is Helen correct? So we look at the red is 1, the blue is 2. So we have 1 times 16 is 16, 2 times 16 is 32. And 16 plus 32, it gives you 48. So 1 plus 2, the ratio, you add them, 1 plus 2 is 3. So 48 divided by 3, that's how I got the 16. So the answer is no. There are 16 red and 32 blue. And that is 1/3. So 16 over 48 of the counters are red. 1/3 of the counters are red. Question 4. You start at -2, you end at 5, and n is an integer. Write down the greatest possible value of n. If you list all the numbers, the biggest number is 4. So 4 is the answer. -2 is included because it's less than or equals to. 5 is not included. You end at 4. On the number line below, show the inequality. You start at -4, you end at 1. But because the sign next to -4 is less than or equals to, that means you shade that circle. Shading the circle means it includes -4. An empty circle means it does not include 1 because it's less than 1. Part C, solve this inequality. You want to remove the -4. You take the right, you add it to 6, it becomes 10. You want to remove divide by 5, you take it to the right, it becomes times 5. 10 times 5 is 50. It's times 2, take it to the right, divide by 2. So G is less than 25. Another way to do it, you can multiply everything by 5. You times by 5, times by 5, times by 5. So the 5 will cancel on the first one. So you have 2G minus 20 is less than 30. Minus 20 goes to the right. 20 plus 30 is 50. And divide by 2 gives you 25. So G is less than 25. So that's the answer for, complete answer for question number 4. Question number 5. The area of the triangle is the same as the area of the rectangle plus 10. So area of triangle, same as area of rectangle plus 10. So what we do now is area of a triangle is half base times height. Area is half base times height. The base is 8, the height is 6x. So half times 8 times 6x is equals to the area of the rectangle is length times width. So 5 times 4x minus 1 and then plus 10. Now you want to solve this equation. So what you can do, you can start by multiplying by 2. Or you do 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 times 6 is 24. Remove the bracket. 5 times 4 is 20, 20x. 5 times minus 1 is minus 5 plus the 10. Minus 5 plus 10 gives you 5. And then 20x goes to the left. 24 minus 20, it gives you 4x. So x is 5 over 4, which is 1.25. Question number 6. Last year, family recycled 800 kilograms of household waste. 57% of this waste was paper. 57% of this waste was paper and glass. Weight of paper recycled is to weight of glass recycled is 12:7. Calculate the weight of glass the family recycled. So you want to find 57% of 800. That gives you 456 kilograms. So that's the weight of paper and glass. So if we have 12 plus 7, we get 19. So it's 19 parts. So 456 divided by 19 is 24 kilograms, is 1 part. So we want just 7. So 7 times 24 for glass is 168 kilograms. Question number 7. A number D is rounded to 1 decimal place. The result is 12.7. Complete the error interval for D. So what you want to do is 1 decimal place is like 0.1, 1 over 10. So you halve it. Half of 0.1 is 0.05. And then you subtract it from that 27.7 to get the lower, and you add it to get the upper. So you get 12.65 less than equals to D less than 12.75. Question 8. Tasmin buys a house with a value of 150,000 pounds. The value of Tasmin's house increases by 4% each year. Rachel buys a house with a value of 160,000. The value of Rachel's house increased by 1.5% each year. At the end of 2 years, whose house has the greater value? So let's start with Tasmin. So it's 4%. We get 1.04 for the multiplier. To get that multiplier, you add 100. So 4 plus 100 is 104. And you divide by 100. 104 divided by 100. 1.04. That gives you the multiplier. The 2 is for the 2 years. So that gives you 162,240. And for Rachel, we do the same. 160,000. You get the multiplier. You add 100 and you divide by 100. It gives you the multiplier. And the 2 is for 2 years, and that gives you 164,836. So Rachel's house has greater value at the end of 2 years, because when you subtract them, you get 2,596. So Rachel's house has greater value. For question 9, they want us to draw a cumulative frequency graph. So we're going to use this upper class boundary. They call them UCB, upper class boundary. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. And this is a cumulative frequency to draw the graph. And then we'll estimate the median. So we have 30, 20. And the next point, 40, 48, 50, 64, and so on. And you're drawing it with a smooth curve. The median is in the middle. The highest number is 80. The middle of 80, from 0 to 80, the middle is 40. So you go to 40, you come down, the answer is 37. Question number 10. Part A, work out an estimate for the probability that the dice will land on 6 both times. So the probability of landing on 6, there are 6, the dice was thrown 60 times. So probability of landing on 6 is 15 over 60, because it's 15 times, and the total is 16, 15 over 16. If it lands the first time on 6, it can still land on 6 the second time, so it's still 15 over 60. You multiply them, your calculator will give you 1 over 6. Sally is going to throw the same dice n times and record the number it lands on. She will use her results to work out more reliable estimate for the probability. What can you say about the value of n? For something to be reliable, you have to do it lots of time. So n has to be bigger than 60. N must be greater than 60 to get more reliable results. Question 11. Use algebra to solve the simultaneous equations, because you can put that in your calculator and get the answer to check it. But using algebra, we want to make the x the same. Here, x is 2x and 3x. How do we make it the same? We want to change it to 6. So we multiply this one by the top one by 3 and the bottom one by 2. So 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 5, 15. And 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4, 8. 2 times 12, 24. Now that is x is the same, when you subtract them, x will disappear. When x disappears, you only have y, and you can solve y. So 18y, be careful here, 18y minus 8y. 18y minus 8y. The minus and minus become plus. That's why we have 26y. Is equals to 15 minus 24 is 39. Your calculator will do that for you. It's a calculator paper. So you divide by 26. Y is equals to 39 over 26, which is simplifies to 3 over 2. Now, to get the value for x, we solve that value for y in the first equation. So this y goes in there, and that's it there, 3 over 2. 6 times 3 over 2 is 9. Is equals to 5, and you simplify it. 9 to the right, 5 take away 9 is minus 4. Divide by 2. So x is minus 2, and y is 3 over 2. And you use your calculator to check if the answer is correct. When I mark the exams, at this point, you're almost halfway in the exams, because usually there might be 24 questions or 30 questions or 23, 24, 25 questions. So but when you get to question 12, 13, 14, is usually halfway through. So take your time and show you're working. So for this question, it says work out the circumference of the circle. Circumference, you first need to know the formula. Circumference is 2 pi r. Circumference is 2 pi r. You must remember this. So what you do is you want to find out the length, the diameter. It's a line that goes through the center. And we see that triangle there. It's a right angle triangle. So we use Pythagoras. 10 squared plus 8 squared, square root will give you the length AC. And AC is the diameter. To get the radius, is diameter divided by 2. You have to remember that. So it's 2 root 41 divided by 2, which is root 41. Substitute that now for the radius, and you put that in your calculator. You get your answer 40.2 to 3 significant figure. For 3 significant figure, you count 1, 2, 3, and put the line. And this 3 is smaller than 5, so it's just 40.2. Very important to remember that. So this is some information I put on circumference of a circle, 2 pi r, or you can use pi times diameter. That's another way to do it. It might be quicker, pi times that diameter. And then this is a Pythagoras theorem there to remember, to help you remember how to use it. A squared plus b squared equals to c squared. A is the yellow area, B is the blue area, and C is the red area. Question 13, we're going to be using the sine rule. So I've put the formula for the sine rule there. we're going to use the sine rule. So that's the formula for the sine rule. It's given in the exams booklet. So make sure you check the formula for it as well. So to use the sine rule, we want to find angle BAC. BAC is the angle there. So we'll do 180 minus 70 minus x. That gives us that angle BAC. Right, so what we do now is we use the sine rule. Sine x over 15, because that's the side which is opposite, is equals to sine 70 over 18. So these two are opposite, sine 70 over 18, sine x over 15. Now to get sine x, 15 is divided by 15, you take it to the right, it becomes times 15. Put this in your calculator, you will get 0.78. And to get the angle is inverse sine of that, which gives you 51.543. So to get this angle, we need to subtract 180 minus 70 minus 51.543. That gives us the angle we're looking for, 58.5 degrees to 1 decimal place. Question 14 is algebra. You want to take this expression there and change it to look like that. So this is where you start. This is where you're going to end. So let's factorize the numerator. X squared minus x minus 6. You want to put it in brackets. So you end up with x minus 3, x plus 1. And then the next one, 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. You want to put it in bracket, you end up with x minus 3, 2x plus 1. Now, the trick to do this denominator, to put it in brackets, like that, pair of brackets, is to use your calculator. If you go to your calculator to solve quadratic equations, you would put a to be 2, b to be minus 5, and c to be minus 3. You will get two answers, x equals to 3 and x equals to minus 1 over 2. So you take 3 to the left, it becomes x minus 3. Take 2x to the left, 2x, and then minus 1 becomes 2x plus 1. Now, you look at this, the x minus 3 will cancel, and you're left with x plus 2 over 2x plus 1. So that means your A is 1, B is 2, C is 2, and D is 1. Question number 15. Here are the first 4 terms of a quadratic sequence. Find an expression in terms of n for the n term of the sequence. So it's 3, 9, 17, 27. The first difference, 9 minus 3 is 6, 17 minus 9 is 8, 27 minus 17 is 10. The second difference, 8 minus 6 is 2, 10 minus 8 is 2. So now we know the second difference is 2. It's the same. What we want to do now, we want to find n squared. 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2, 4, 3 times 3. That's what n squared is. Now we work out the difference. 3 minus 1 is 2. 9 minus 4 is 5. 17 minus 9, 8. 27 minus 16, 11. And the difference is 5 minus 3 is 2. 8 minus 5 is, so 5 minus 2 is 3. 8 minus 5 is 3. 11 minus 8 is 3. So the n term is given by this formula for this linear sequence. 3n plus 2 minus 3, which is 3n minus 1. So the quadratic n term would be the n squared plus 3n minus 1. This is a formula which you might want to remember, and it will help you to do that same thing for the n term. The formula is at the bottom there. I've circled it. That's all you need to remember. If you memorize that, you can use it to do that quadratic sequence. And these are all explanations of the formula. But this is what you need to memorize to help you do it. Question number 16. The histogram gives information about the number of hours some students used their phones last week. The histogram is incomplete. 28 students used their phone between 30 and 40 hours. 24 students used their phone between 40 and 60 hours. Use the information to complete a histogram. This formula, frequency density, is frequency divided by class width. You must memorize that and you write it down. So we have frequency is 28, class width is 10, because it's 40 minus 30. So that gives you 2.8. And 24 frequency and class width is 20. 24 minus 20. 24 divided by 20 is 1.2. So the number of students use, so it says no students use their phone for more than 60 hours. Work out the total number of students. So what you can do here, you see here we've got 2.8. The 2.8 goes there on the y-axis, the frequency density, and that relates to this one. 30 to 40 is 2.8, so 2.8. That's it there. And then 1.2 for 40 to 60. So that's 1.2 would be just somewhere there, 1.2, 40 to 60. Now work out the total number of students for part B for more than 60 hours. So we add 32. How do we get that? You multiply the length times the width. That's the area of that rectangle. So 20 times 1.6, that gives you the 32. Find the area there, 10 times 3.6, it gives you 36. Find this one is 28, and this one is 24. It's 20 times 1.2. And you add them up, it gives you 120. So that's a nice way to remember the formula. Frequency is frequency density times class width. You can write it, frequency is equals to frequency density times class width. That's another way to help you remember it. Question number 17. So for question 17, we want to get that expression there, that equation. So we go to that equation. We want, because the root is 4 there. You see that thing, it has root of 4 there. That's a clue. It tells us that we want to make the one that has x to the power 4 the subject. So we want to make this x the subject. So minus x squared goes to the right, it becomes plus x squared. Minus 5 goes to the right, it becomes plus 5. Now to get rid of the power 4, we find the fourth root, and that's it. Starting with x naught equals to 1.5 for part B, use the iteration formula. They say 3 times to find an estimate for the solution. So this is the iteration formula. Let's start with n equals to 1. So if you put 1 there, 1 plus 1 will give you 2. So that'll give you x2. It's the square root of fourth root of 1.5, because you start with x1. x1 is given in the question, x naught, 1.5 squared plus 5. And that will give you the first answer. So when you put n is equal to 0, so x naught is 1.5 squared plus 5, square root of fourth root of that, it gives you this long answer. And you can save it in your calculator, because you're going to use it for the next one. When n is 1, you get this long answer, and you use it again for the next one, and you get this answer 1.669 something. Question number 18. 2a is to 5c is equals to 6 is to 25, and 4b is to 7c is equals to 20 is to 21. Show that this left is equals to that right. So we use 2a, we'll put them in a fraction, 2a divided by 5c. That should be equals to 6 divided by 25. So you cross multiply. 6 times 5c is 30c. 2a times 25 is 50a. We divide by 10. So that means 5a is 3c. Let's look at the other one. 4b divided by 7c. is equal to 20 divided by 21. So you cross multiply. 20 times 7c is 140c. 4b times 21 is 84b. You divide by 28, you get 3b is equal to 5c. So if you notice there, we got 5a equals to 3c, and 3b is equal to 5c. So what is tiny? We got c there, and we got c there. That's the thing that links the two, the c and c. So when we go to a, b, c, we got there for a, we got 5. For b, for a, we got 5. For b, we have 3. And for c, we got 5. So what you want to do, for the first ratio, we had 5 and 3. For the second one, we had 3 and 5. So if you want to make the same, you multiply this one by 5, you get 29. And you multiply this by 3, you get 9. Multiply this by 5, you get 15. Multiply this by 3, you get 15. So 9 is for both of them in the middle. So a plus b would be 25 plus 9, which would give you 34. Question number 19. They want you to find the lower bound for the size of angle X. So let's look at the length first. Let's take the first one, AB. AB is 9.3. 9.3. The lower bound is 9.25 and the upper bound 9.35. And AC is 12.6. The lower bound is 12.55 and the upper bound is 12.65. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse, which is AB over AC. So we want the lower bound of the angle. So what we want to do is we want to use the lower value of A, the lower bound of AB, and the upper bound of AC. So the inverse sine of 9.25 divided by 12.65, which will give you 46.989. These are some information on how to find lower and upper bounds. So you can read through this, have the degree of accuracy, add to the upper bound, add to get the upper bound, and subtract to get the lower bound. Follow this example, and it'll help you to teach you how to find the upper and lower bounds. For example, you want 450 to the nearest 10. So you have 10, you get 5. And you add the 5, and you subtract the 5. To one decimal place, you have it, yes, 0.01, 0.05, you add it to the number, and you subtract it from the number. Question number 20. So for question 20, we know that OM is 2 over 5 because we do 2 plus 3. It gives us 5. So this one is 2 over 5 of OM, and MR is 3 over 5. So let's start from the beginning. OR is OT plus T. OR is OT plus TB. OTR. Let's put TR there instead. So to go from O to R, you can go from O to T and then from T to R. O to T is A and T to R is minus B because the arrow is going the other direction, but we're going that way. So this is plus B and this will be minus B. Now OM is 2/3, 2 over 5, not 2, 2 over 5. That's the 2 there, divided by the total 5 of OR. So it's 2 over 5 times what OR is on there. You remove the bracket, 2 over 5 times A, minus 2 over 5 times B. So it's very important. OM is different from MO. So you swap them. When you do OM, you MO, you put minus in front, and this one will change to plus. So it will now be 2 over 5B minus 2 over 5A. Now MT is MO. So to go from M to T, you go from M to O and from O to T. So M to O and O to T. So M to O is what we have there at the top. And M to O to T is A. Now minus 2 over 5 plus 1A, which gives you 3 over 5A. So it's 3 over 5A plus 2 over 5B. That's your answer. Question 21. Here's the graph of y equals to f of x. That's the graph there. They want you to, on the grid, draw the graph of y equals to f of x minus 4. When you minus 4, you take it 4 steps down. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is where it would be. It's gone down 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. You draw it down there. F of minus x, that means whatever was on this left side goes to the right. Because now it becomes, it's a reflection in the y-axis. That's the y-axis. So it's a reflection on the y-axis. It goes to the right. And these are some information about transformation which you need to try and remember. The one we use, minus x, is reflection in the y-axis. If the minus is in front, it's a reflection in the x-axis. So try and learn some of this to help you with transformation type of questions. Question number 22. There are only blue pens and red pens in the box. The number of blue pens is 4 times the number of red pens. Rita takes at random 1 pen from the box. She records the color of the pen and then replaces it in the box. Rita does this n times, where n is bigger than or equal to 2. Write down an expression in terms of n for the probability that Rita gets a blue pen at least once and a red pen at least once. So it's either blue or red, blue or red. So we have x over 5x, 4x over 5x. When you add them together, it gives you 1. Because the number of blue pens is 4 times the number of red pens. So probability of 1 blue is 1 minus 1 over 5 to the power n. Probability of 1 red, 1 minus 4 over 5 to the power n. So probability of at least 1 blue and 1 red is 1 minus 4 over 5 to the power n minus 1 over 5 to the power n. Question 24. The diagram shows 8 identical regular octagons joined to enclose a shaded shape. Each octagon has length A. Find in terms of A an expression for the area of the shaded shape. Give your answer in that form. So this is what the shape, we can divide the shape in a way that we can see a little triangle at the top there, another triangle there, another triangle there, another triangle there. So there are 4 triangles. So we want to find the 4 triangles. And so there's 4 triangles and the area of the blue square. That'll give us the area of the shape. For an exterior angle, the formula is 360 degrees divided by the number of sides. So if you see that polygon there, this theta is the exterior angle because it's outside. 360 degrees divided by the number of sides. So that's the formula we use to find that angle. Because it's an octagon, n is 8. The number of sides is 8. So 360 divided by 8, it gives you 45. So what that means is this angle is 45 and this angle is 45. So if you add the 2 together, 45 plus 45, it gives you 90. What that means is this angle is 90, that's 90, that's 90, that's 90. So it's a right angle triangle. And the shape inside is 90 at the corners, 90, 90, 90. So we have 4 right angle triangles and then the square to find the area. So we use Pythagoras theorem. This is a right angle triangle. So that's x, that's x. So this long side is x squared plus x squared and square root. So it's 2x squared and square root of 2x squared is x root 2. So that one is x root 2. An area of a triangle is half base times height, half x times x, half x squared. If you use half AB sine C, but sine C is sine 90 because the angle is 90, sine of 90 is 1. So that's how it gives you half x squared for the area of the triangle. But that's information to show how you find square root of 2x squared to get x root 2. Now you want to find the length of the square. You add those 3. You add x plus x root 2 plus x to get that length. So x plus x is 2x plus x root 2. So you got that. So to find the area of the square, we multiply the length times the width. So it's the same. 2x plus x root 2, we have to square that. So you multiply it. So you get 4x squared plus 4x squared root 2 plus 2x squared. And 4x squared plus 2x squared, it gives you 6x squared plus 4x squared root 2. And then there's 4 of those triangles. So you multiply the answer by 4. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. So it's 2x squared for the 4 triangles. So you add it together now. So you add those together, and that will give you 8x squared plus 4x squared with 2. 4x squared can factorize. You're left with 2 because 8 is the same as 4 times 2. And you get x squared out, x squared out. So you're left with 2 with 2. And you can put them in a way where the 4 stays in front, the x squared goes at the end. 4 bracket 2 plus root 2 times x squared. And that's what they wanted you to show. So congratulations for coming to the end of this paper.